Antoine Griezmann had to sit on the bench in a match for the French team, something rare during the past 8 years. The Atletico Madrid player has always been a key factor in Les Bleus squad, and many people also call him Deschamps' favorite to describe the trust and favor that this strategist has for Griezmann since taking charge of the French national team. Yet in a crucial and decisive match to the top of the table, Didier Deschamps cruelly let Griezmann sit on the bench. As a result, the team had to accept the draw against Poland and reluctantly entered the death bracket. That is the source of endless rumors in the newspapers over the past few days. Winning the championship is already a difficult task, now falling into the death bracket. Combined with the drama of internal conflicts, the situation of the French team is now like a thousand-hanging scene, with difficulties piling up. Hard. Not only with Griezmann, the conflict also spread between coach Didier Deschamps and many other players. First, let's talk about the story of the player on the Atletico Madrid payroll. El Equipe reported that the relationship between coach Deschamps and Griezmann is no longer as good as before. There was even suspicion of a hidden conflict between the two teachers and students. The truth is that everyone knows coach Deschamps has a good reason not to use Griezmann. This striker played poorly in the match against Austria, and especially the match against the Netherlands when Kylian Mbappé was absent due to injury. Griezmann was expected to lead the attack, but he had a disappointing day, wasting many opportunities, causing Les Bleus to only get a draw. At least 3 delicious situations were missed by the former Barca star, a performance extremely contrary to what he had shown before. That's why fans gradually lost faith in this player, let alone coach Didier Deschamps. He is not Gareth Southgate, so he will not be so conservative that he will continue to use a player who is not in good form. In the match against Poland, the camera lens continuously recorded the image of Griezmann sitting blankly on the bench. On the other hand, letting your most important player rest is also a way for him to relieve pressure after a series of disappointing matches. No matter how you look at it, Deschamps' actions are reasonable. El Equipe further revealed that Griezmann was not satisfied with the 55-year-old coach's decision. He believes that the match against Poland is an opportunity for him to restore his playing form. After the 1-1 draw against Poland, Deschamps explained that leaving Griezmann on the bench and trusting in Kylian Mbappé, Ousmane Dembélé and Bradley Barcola was purely due to tactical factors. Deschamps said he chose 3 agile players to bring speed play along the field and refused to comment on whether Griezmann's absence from the field was due to physical problems or not. This contradicts Deschamps' previous statement that Griezmann showed a professional attitude and was willing to sit on the bench. And because of the 55-year-old strategist's tight-lippedness, the media began to question whether there was any widespread conflict or not. Not stopping there, another rumor said that the French players had begun to develop dissatisfaction with their teacher. In his interactions with the French team, coach Deschamps also began to show more rigor than usual. The French players felt that he built training sessions that lacked intensity and had an autocratic leadership style, which made them feel uncomfortable. According to the players, the current training intensity is not strong enough to help them prepare for the Euro effectively. The consequence of this is that after 3 group stage matches, the French team did not score any goals from live ball attacks. The continental team only scored 1 goal from the penalty spot and 1 goal from an own goal. The lack of flexibility in tactics and the inability to change the way of play on the field has made the relationship between coach Deschamps and the players more tense and distant. Former French player Emmanuel Petit was not surprised by the performance of the French team under the guidance of coach Deschamps in Germany. This doesn't surprise me. These problems have existed for the past 10 years. The French team should have shown a much stronger attack with the quality and options that coach Deschamps had at hand. Petit shared. He emphasized that with the current quality squad, the French team should have more impressive tactics and performances. In addition, French players also expressed concern about Coach Deschamps' recent moves, especially the tense conversation between Deschamps and young midfielder Eduardo Camavinga after the draw with Poland. Deschamps blamed Camavinga for losing the ball multiple times during the match, leading to a heated argument between the two. Not stopping there, Coach Didier Deschamps is said to have scolded his students for choosing inappropriate shoes, leading to frequent slipping. In addition, the 55-year-old coach also became angry with Antoine Griezmann when he appeared to be slow in putting pressure on his opponent even though he only came from the bench. Coach Deschamps' decisions to change personnel also caused a lot of controversy. In the match against the Netherlands, he only made 2 personnel adjustments when bringing Kingsley Coman and Olivier Giroud onto the field, while Bradley Barcola and Camavinga were not used. Many people believe that Deschamps did not utilize the squad's full potential, and this negatively affected the team's performance. Sharing the same fate as the above-mentioned teams, Olivier Giroud is also having problems with his teacher. French media rumored that Coach Deschamps is feeling doubtful about the form and fitness of the former Arsenal star. At the same time, Giroud also expressed dissatisfaction when he could not play from the start in the match against the Netherlands in the second match of the group stage, while that was the time when Kylian Mbappé was on the bench due to a nose injury. With Mbappé having to wear a mask to play, the possibility of Giroud having to continue sitting on the bench is very high. In some recent interviews, the 37-year-old striker even admitted that he felt tired. In what could be his last Euro season, Giroud wants to play to continue increasing the scoring record for the French team. However, Deschamps was unable to meet that wish, which is why dissatisfaction has begun to occur. For example, in clubs, stories of rifts between teachers and students are no longer strange. Like in 2018, we heard about the drama between Paul Pogba and Jose Mourinho. In the end, the Portuguese strategist had to pack up and leave the theater of dreams. If the conflict in the French team reaches a climax, the players agreeing to cut the chair of the teacher by playing below their strength will likely take place. A true Cold War, and the victims were football fans who witnessed their team play miserably in the Euro 2024 group stage. The shock of being eliminated early from the tournament in Germany will be difficult to accept. Ultimately, it could be resolved by sacking Didier Deschamps after a failed campaign. That is also the only way to restore order. A similar story also happened within the French team at the 2010 World Cup. That was the incident when former player Nicolas Anelka was sent home early in the middle of the campaign for insulting coach Raymond Domenech. The incident escalated when a group of players led by Patrice Evra and Franck Ribéry skipped practice to support Anelka in opposing his teacher. As a result, Les Bleus was eliminated in the group stage of the tournament held in South Africa. 2 years later, at Euro 2012, the French team continued to face another conflict. Uncertainties began to emerge after the loss to the Swedish team, the final match of the Euro 2012 group stage. Since then, many conflicts have erupted within the team. One of the conflicts was between Florent Malota and Samir Nasri when they criticized each other for their individual play and lack of teamwork. In addition, Coach Laurent Blanc also had some minor arguments with midfielder Hatem Ben Arfa after the loss to Sweden when the Newcastle player failed to live up to expectations despite being the starter. About a year ago, the French team also went through a crisis with a conflict over who would hold the captaincy between Kylian Mbappé and Antoine Griezmann. Many lessons from the past are used to set an example for Didier Deschamps and his students at the present time. To win the championship, the most important factor is not expertise but consensus. The disjointedness has been clearly shown from the group stage matches to the upcoming round of 16. The French may send themselves home early if there is no one to suppress the internal turmoil. Many people also think that this is just a smokescreen by Les Bleus, but if they act so deeply and realistically, it seems that when they quit, they will be eliminated early from Euro 2024.